Hello everyone. Today we're going to present you our article called Consumer Feedback as an Alarm System for the CSR of the Business Organization, made by Lyubomira Hristova, Assistant Professor PhD, and Violina Petrova, PhD student. Introduction. Public relations practitioners in an organization are charged with the commitment to promote its activities but also to be a link between the organization and its stakeholders. In this regard, we can outline one significant area of interaction between CSR and PR, communication relations, which are an inspiration in both organizational activities. Our basic understanding is that CSR demonstrates and reinforces the business organization's sensitivity to social expectations and values. The modern business organization and its CSR horizon. Some perspectives. The European Commission defines corporate social responsibility as a concept that refers to the integration between enterprises on a voluntary basis of social and environmental aspects in their economic operations and in their interaction with relevant stakeholders. In recent years, greater attention has been paid to the social and environmental impacts of business, particularly in relation to the activities of multinational companies. In order to build lasting relationships with stakeholders in general and customs in particular, companies need to take into account the growing interest in CSR activities and the need of intense and effective CSR communication. Stakeholders are increasingly sensitive to environmental and social issues and prefer to work with companies whose activities are consistent with their personal values and beliefs. Stakeholders' perceptions of a company's commitment to CSR are positively related to the company's image, reputation, and ability to attract, retain, and motivate its employees. This justifies the effectiveness to integrate social and environmental concerns into core strategies and business activities. Back about CSR. Customer perception and expectations of CSR influence purchase intentions, customer loyalty, corporate image and reputation, and customer identification with the company. Actual customer feedback depends on the distance between the customer's beliefs, values, and lifestyle and the company's perceptions of CSR. Consequently, one company may receive different or conflict feedback on CSR based on multiple customer perceptions and expectations. One of the main challenges in developing an effective CSR communication strategy is to engage stakeholders and increase their confidence in the company's socially responsible behavior. Communication of CSR practices is not just a matter of information transfer, but of interaction with stakeholders. Precise CSR communication can be seen as an important agenda for both public relations research and practice. The communication interaction between the organization and its stakeholders can be outlined as a general idea in CSR and in PR practice. An even deeper look takes us to stakeholder feedback to the company itself, which can regularly be fed with information from studies and external environment. Approaches to CSR communication. Public relations subject matter and research focuses on public engagement and the strategic value of CSR. This influences effective reputation management, improved corporate identity, and purchase intent. Stefanova emphasized that customers tend to stop buying if they do not agree with the organization's position on important social issues. In the present paragraph, we will consider Morsink-and-Schultz's model of CSR communication. Not by chance the models of CSR communication strategies put forward, but Morsink and Schultz are based on the public relations models proposed by Gruing and Hunt. Morsink and Schultz present three CSR communication strategies that encompass an evolution from classic monologues to dialogue-based stakeholder relations. These The reviewed strategies give us a reason to emphasize that is in the stakeholder participation strategy that can be perceived as a kind of alarm system for the CSR of the business organization. This strategy implies dialogue with stakeholders. Persuasion can occur, but it comes from stakeholders as well as the organization itself, each trying to stimulate change in each other. Companies must strive not only to influence stakeholders, but also to be influenced by them and, if necessary, make changes. Another possible two-way approach to CSR communication is offered by Podnor's model. It describes that context in which communication takes place as a two-way relationship between the CSR requirements of stakeholders and the company's ability to meet these requirements. The model is presented as a combination of the relationship between these three contexts: business activities, social and environmental issues, and stakeholder interaction. Methodology and data collection. The presented research is a part of the work of PhD student Violina Petrova at Southwest University Neofit-Rilski, Blagoevgrad, Bulgaria, on her dissertation, The Impact of Corporate Social Responsibility on the Image of the Business Organization. The applied method for collecting information is a questionnaire survey. The survey was carried out among consumers of a large retail chain in Bulgaria. The overall research period is 4 months, and the chosen subject of analysis is Lidl Bulgaria LOD. Our choice of this business organization is dictated by the presence of the following factual circumstances: more than 10 years presence on the Bulgarian marketplace, more than 250 employees, and active and public presented CSR public policy in different channels: corporate website, YouTube channel, Facebook profile, printed brochure with products information, and CSR campaign introduction. We analyzed the main online companies channels in our previous research. In the first stage, respondents were asked to participate through dedicated social networking groups. Specially designed questionnaires were sent by providing a link. The planned sample size of 162 participants was reached. In a second stage, the sample was supplemented with 54 respondents surveyed in the field at the entrance of the retail chain with the same web-based questionnaire. After processing the field and online survey data, it was found that there were no outliers in the quantitative indicators, allowing these data to be analyzed in aggregate. About the questionnaire. The questionnaire contains 10 questions which are mainly open and closed alternative questions. The answers given are mutually exclusive and only one answer is possible. The groups of questions included in the consumer questionnaire can be summarized as follows: questions about the demographic status of the surveyed persons, like age, education, residence; questions about the affective and cognitive component in the minds of the surveyed individuals, what do they know about CSR campaigns, and questions related to the role positions of the researched individuals. The respondents who took part in the study are divided into the following age groups: 18 to 24, 25 to 34, 35 to 44, 45 to 54, and above 55. The largest group of surveyed consumers, 33% of them, is in the age range between 25 and 34. The distribution of surveyed persons by level of education is shown in Figure 3. The data show that the distribution is in favor of graduates, 70%, and those with secondary education, 25%. The percentage of the most highly educated is highest in the 35-44 age group. They are followed by those surveyed between the ages of 25 and 34. The share of 45% of those with higher education in the 18-24 age group is not small either. Approximately the same number of surveyed persons, 41%, are with secondary education. A large percentage of respondents, 58%, have a traditional habitual behavior of visiting the retail outlet once or more times a week. A distinguishing feature of this segment of consumers is precisely their activity. They plan and carry out a weekly visit to the point of sale. This gives them the opportunity to be observers of in-store communication formats used to draw attention to specific products or promoting including CSR activities. Therefore, consumer perceptions of in-store CSR products can be specifically targeted. This is a fertile ground to intensify the CSR communication of the business organization at the point of sale and to influence consumer awareness. Respondents were also asked a question about the level of awareness and sources of information about specific organizational CSR activities. The analyzed data can be specifically considered as feedback from consumers, in which the effect of CSR communication is clearly reflected, like alarm system. We directed respondents' attention to 3 CSR campaigns that are presented through social media and social network of the company. These 3 CSR campaigns are You and Leader for a Better Life, the support for the Bulgarian Volleyball Federation campaign, and the Reset Plastic campaign. The analysis of the results showed that people with the highest level of education use companies' official website as the main source of information. We believe that consumers with a higher level of education should demonstrate a higher interest in relevant social topics and issues. Among these problems, we position the social responsibility activities of the business organization. These activities are aimed at engaging consumers towards attracting individuals to think and act in a way that supports the very realization of the CSR activity and the well-being of the consumers themselves, social groups, and the whole society. Respondents with secondary education who are familiar with the initiatives of the research company are also informed mainly by its official website. The majority of graduates are not familiar with the company's social responsibility initiatives. They are most familiar with the support for the Bulgarian Volleyball Federation initiative, 73% of them, with 21 of them being informed by the TV commercials and only 19% by the official website. The reason for this can be found in the more structured advertising messages broadcast in the past year for specific CSR initiatives. Figures 4, 5, and 6 present data on the general awareness of consumers for the 3 considered campaigns. Respondents are least familiar with the plastic recycling initiative Reset Plastic, 57%. About the You and Leader for Better Life campaign, 27% of graduates got information from the company's official website. Those who were informed by the Reset Plastic campaign did it also from the official website, 19%. Among respondents with secondary education, the percentage of those informed about the campaign You and Leader for a Better Life is also the highest, 23%. As with graduates, respondents with secondary education are mostly not familiar with the Reset Plastic campaign. 45% of them are not informed. About the support for the Bulgarian Volleyball Federation campaign, the respondents were informed mainly from the official website and from television advertisements. This is where the importance of consumer communication channels comes into play. The feedback is an alarm system for their media habits and awareness of CSR campaigns. An important part of consumer feedback research is related to obtaining and analyzing information on how CSR communication influences their behavior. We should note that the respondents' attention is directed towards sharing information about CSR impact. The data from our survey show that in the 35-44 age group, consumers who are not influenced by the company's CSR is the largest percentage, 24%. An opposite trend in behavior is observed among younger respondents in the 25-34 age group. 37% of them buy more products related to socially responsible initiatives. Figure 8 shows the overall impact of CSR on consumer behavior. More than half of consumers, 59% of them, say they feel no impact. The overall research results and analysis of the feedback from the consumers of the business organization can give extremely useful information for the overall communication approach as well as for the targeted CSR communication. The variety of demographic factors, media habits, and store exposure of the stakeholders can be seen as bright lights in the organizational alarm system. They are also preconditions for developing a differentiated approach to individual groups of consumers. Maintaining a kind of alarm system in terms of communication requires at least two-way transfer of information, feedback from research, analysis of data, and their implementation in business activities dedicated to CSR. Communication activities in the field of CSR should be centered on two-way interaction with the audience. Part of it is in the regular research and analysis of data on the current attitudes and positions of consumers, which are a powerful engine for the CSR policy of the business organization. Thank you very much for your attention.